It's set. Here we
What do fast marathons, back to back races, high performance coaching, and leadership summits have in common? They all teach us how to push past limits and run life with purpose. Today, we're breaking it all down.
We are going to tell you a little bit about some of the things that we've been doing, but also tying a lot of our experiences from the last couple of weeks together, some leadership conferences, some extreme activities, and we're going to help you run your best life.
Awesome. So happy you're here, Adele. We've both been very busy in the last week. We actually missed recording 1 week because I was traveling and I had to postpone it. I did the Riverboat Series. I did the summit. You did the certification, and also the promise of the updates of the downhill marathons that we're going to do. We'll cover it all. So why don't we start there? Why don't we start with the
Perfect.
next downhill marathons that a lot of people use to either qualify for the Boston Marathon or just to do their PR.
I think that would be great because we met the director of the tunnel to tower to tunnel, and there were three or four different names of her events. We met her a couple of weeks ago, well, about a month and a half ago, so people could start getting ready. We went over some of the techniques and some of the pitfalls when you're training for downhill. But really, what we want to do right now is give you the ideas of the dates and the amount of time that y'all will be able to train because one of them's coming up in just about 5 or 6 weeks. So I think Victor has some of the dates ready to tell y'all. Write them down, get ready, and anything else you're going to need to know, we can recap real quick for you before we move on to some of our other topics today.
Absolutely. Sounds amazing. And here, I know that one of them is June 8th. So that may be a little bit too close
Mhm.
for starting to train unless you're already trained. June 8th
Right.
is called Light at the End of the Tunnel Marathon. They start at 7 a.m. But these are the numbers that I'm getting. If you're really interested, you should try to get to the website, see the exact date and the details. The more important thing is that if you're wanting to do that one, check and see if it's hasn't filled up because they fill up pretty quick.
Right.
Mm.
Right.
And the next thing is would be how to prepare because it is so close. It would be a little bit challenging to prepare. One of the challenges is to getting those quads ready for
Right. Right.
downhill. Before I get into that, let me tell you the other dates.
Right.
So in August 10th of this year, that one is called Tunnel Vision Marathon and Half Marathon.
That'll be fun.
That's August 10th. And then the last one for that same, it's the same course, just different names. And they're all in North Bend, Washington.
Right.
The last one is Tunnel Light Marathon, September 14th. And that one, anybody could probably get ready, even for the August one. Pretty much, you got a lot of time uh, between now and August 10th, and also much more time between now and September 14th to prepare for those downhill marathons. Mm.
Now, remember too, y'all, we went over a lot for a couple of weeks. We talked about how to prepare, how to do some of the supplemental workouts for your quads, some of the box jumps, for example, some of the kind of like plyometrics is what we call them, where you're working on your core, you're working on your glutes, you're working on your knees, you're learning how to run downhill, we're learning how to run at a even pace. We talked about all that. So you can always go back to our previous episodes to get that information. But if it's really important to you, drop us a line in our comments so that we can address it either by sending you a response by email or whatever way is easiest for you. And we can also cover it in one of our very upcoming future episodes too, so we can hit it so people can be ready for everything. But we had all of that stuff: hydration, nutrition, the supplemental workouts and exercises to get ready. So make sure you go back to some of those because you're going to need them You're gonna need them so you can be successful. That's what we always want. We want you to be successful and no injuries.
Absolutely. And then for anybody who wants to be more like one-on-one coaching, where they want one of us to guide them in a weekly basis with the sessions and the training and all the tips, they should schedule a call, or even if they just want a training plan.
Right.
And I suggest they schedule a call, and we will talk to them on the strategies on how to prepare for one of these marathons.
Right. And we love speaking with you face to face. We can do a Zoom like this and really get to know you well. Any way that works with you, please let us know. We'd love to see you be successful in your journey. Definitely. That's always our motivation.
Yes, I agree. And so I think we can jump into the next thing is I just finished the Riverboat series. Mm, we did a little episode while I was running the Riverboat series, was a series of 6 consecutive marathons in 6 different states, covering quite a bit of distance on those 6 days.
Yeah.
And it was was a lot of fun and very unique. And you can see one of our episodes where I covered a little bit of that. Mm, Again, if you have any questions, or if one of your goals is to do all 50 states, I love to talk to you about it. There's a few companies that help you do this, but the one I use is mainly marathons. I register for those races, and those races are also certified. So if anybody wanted to qualify for Boston in one of those races and it happens to be in their city at that day, and they say, "Oh, I am ready to try to qualify," those courses are certified, and they're very unique because it's not like your huge marathons where you have a lot of fans and usually they're point to point or maybe one loop. These are usually lots of loops. I had
Yeah.
to, for the half marathons, there were times where I did nine. I think that was the most I did, 9 laps.
Nine laps was so.
Yeah.
So y'all remember that when Victor's talking about these, you have your half marathon distance available as well as marathon distance. And
And a 50K.
yeah, and when we had the opportunity to visit one right after one of his races, he was waiting for Sherry, who was with him. She was doing a slower pace. She was doing a little bit more walking in her half marathons. Victor was finishing a little earlier, so we actually got together on one of them, and then he had some technological problems. He had some technological problems. So the biggest thing was when we spoke. Y'all have to realize that there were 13.1 miles to each of these races, 6 consecutive days, 6 different states. And he came down and started in my state of Louisiana first. I'm just saying, in a rural area. It was beautiful. He showed me pictures. But the biggest thing about it is traveling from Washington State down south. That's why it's called the Riverboat Series. Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, Kentucky,
Tennessee
Tennessee, and was it
and
Not
Missouri.
Arizona? In
Missouri.
Missouri. In Missouri. I think you finished in Missouri, correct?
Right, that's correct. That
In
was the last.
Missouri. Y'all just trying to communicate with Victor with the technology and being kind of out of service was just it was a little difficult for him and Sherry, but we couldn't communicate it easily as well. So we missed a week once he did that second day. And I'm thinking to myself, I know they're going to make it. I know they're going to make it. And then we were both traveling a little bit the week after. So we really do want to do a recap of that. My biggest question to Victor right now, because we do have a few things we're going to hit on today. How did your body feel after those 6, 7 days of running and traveling?
It was recovering really fast. I think that the third day was the hardest. It was
Okay.
harder than the last day. And my very last day was my fastest time by 20 seconds. It was the fast.
Really?
Yes.
Why do you
And
think that? Why do you think that?
I suspect that the fitness is starting to engage a little
Okay.
bit more the fitness, whereas the third day it's kind of in shock. Mm.
Okay.
And that was something that a guy that was doing marathons, he said the same thing. He said, my hardest day was the third day. Uh, he was having a really good day on the last day, feeling
Okay.
his legs were back to more normal running than the
Okay.
third day. Because and it's a common effect that when you're on the third day, you're like, I don't know if I'm going to survive 6 or 7 days, because the series was actually seven, but we already had Illinois, so we didn't have to do
Right.
Illinois.
Okay.
But yes, I remember this from the past series. I was the same way. It's like, I don't know if I'm going to make it to the fourth, fifth day. But you start to gain fitness just from doing them back to back. And
Yeah.
I think as long as you're pacing yourself adequately, mm, and
Well,
not
I
too
think
crazy.
part of that too is what kind of rest you're getting, correct? Because
Yes,
once
absolutely.
a couple through that week, there were back-to-back days of traveling to the next location. But
Yeah,
I
but
think later
three
there was,
hours was the
yeah,
max.
okay, okay. But did you find that you and Sherry were able to get the kind of rest you needed to let that fitness kick in the second part of that week?
Yes, I did feel,
Okay,
because you're away from home, you don't start doing chores that you have to do, other than
right.
just pack the little things that you have, go to the next restaurant. And usually we ate out because we're not gonna cook in the hotel. So nobody's
Well,
cooking,
right.
everything there. You just go, you pick up your food, you either eat out or you take it to your room and then just relax and wait till the next day.
It's not like y'all listen to that. Y'all not roaming around a new city, going to museums and parks and walking around. You're trying to save your
Your
legs
leg.
from being upright and moving the rest
Yeah.
of that afternoon because they're going to be moving the next morning for a couple more hours. And in Sherry's case, I think she was out on the course about 3 hours. You were about 2 hours on most of those days. She was
Yeah.
about 3 or 3.5 hours.
That's correct. Only one
Yeah.
day I was late to the race, and then she said, "Will you walk with me?" And then I said, "Okay, I'll walk." And I walked about half through, and then I started run walk, and I think that
Hmm.
was 2.5 hours. But most of my
Okay.
races were under 2 hours.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's a pretty fast pace. That's under a 9 minute pace for 13.1, which right under 2 hours is about a 9 minute pace. And Victor was doing that consistent days. So God bless you. I don't have that in me anymore, but I can run, bike, swim back to back days all the time.
Mm.
Just not with that focus that you had. And I would love to be able to say that I could still do it. But I think my body being a little bit older, being a little bit more engaged in the other activities as well, I need those recovery days in the pool, like back to
Okay.
back running and cycling days. My knees, my hips, they feel it if I try to do those back to back 2, 3, 4 days in a row. And so I find when I build in that swim day every couple of days, my body relaxes in the water. That's my recovery. I would
Yeah,
love to go do maybe 2 days back to back,
yeah,
which I'll do in January, but a shorter distance on the first day and then the half on the second day.
yes, and definitely this I would recommend more for the person who wants to get those marathon or is trying to go for a number of marathons,
Hmm.
not for improving your time,
Right,
mm,
right,
for longevity and for that camaraderie with other runners. They're thinking the same thing or trying to do the same accomplishment of doing the 50 states and having those close relationships, because one unique thing about these races is that because you're doing loops, you're constantly passing each other, saying hi, or you catch up to other people. And if you're doing the walk run method, you can catch up to somebody who's doing maybe slower pace, walk a little bit for them, how you're doing, what's your day, and blah blah
right,
blah. And then you keep on running, and then you'll meet them again, because you
right,
either
right.
they're going to catch up to you, you're going to catch up to them, but you're constantly getting to know many of the people that are doing this series very very well, because I know
I, I love that aspect of it. So I'm gonna let you continue. I just love that aspect of it. So
well, I was just going to say that we're already getting ready for the next series, which is called the Independence and the New England series. We're already registered for that. That
okay,
starts next month in June, and I
Okay.
look forward to seeing a lot of the same
Great.
people.
Yeah.
Rosa, I think I for those who haven't heard the episode, Rosa is from California.
Mhm.
She is pushing her dad on a wheelchair. Her dad is 98 years old, and she's doing the 5Ks right now. She already did all of her long distance marathons through the same series, but now
Right.
she's doing the 5Ks, pushing her dad on a wheelchair. And on the day that it was raining, we had
Mhm.
mud. It was grueling. She's out there pushing her dad, gave him an umbrella to hold, and she's pushing him through the mud and getting it done. And with a smile, it's amazing.
And I think that's the beauty of an event like this. Not only are the people that make a significant impact, like Rosa, because her story, when I saw that and heard it, to me, that's just, it transcends everything else that's going on. That is done. It's an event and an experience that she chose. She's capable of running. Obviously, she had a history of being a runner, but to include the relationship with her dad for the experiences that they shared, it transcends moving your feet and moving your body because of why you're there. That's a huge message. And I think one of the biggest things that you picked up on too, these people you're meeting, there was a gentleman, an older gentleman, I think in his 80s. He's done marathon after marathon after marathon. I cannot remember his name, but he was
Yes,
on our
Jim.
little,
Jim,
yeah,
83 years old, 2,400 marathons. That
2,400.
was on the first day. So by now, he's added seven
Yeah,
more.
yeah, yeah. I mean, at that point in time, you do want to keep track of them. And you also know, I didn't want to say but and you also know that there's something else in your future. When you're at an advanced age, when I say advanced age, I'm not saying 60s, 70s, 80s, and are still capable of doing these things, y'all, the thing that keeps us going as we do age is having something to look forward to. And in this particular man's case, he loves to do this and the people he meets and then the stories he tells. He told us how he trains and how he's able to do it. There's not a lot of people in their 80s, if they heard that story, that think that they can do it. All you have to do is lace up your shoes and walk out your door or walk around your house. You can start doing anything you want to do. Age is only a matter of mind. If you don't mind, it don't matter, honey. It don't matter.
And
But there's
he
a
told
lot to
me,
it. So I know we want to talk about a couple other things today, and we'll
yeah,
recap. Maybe we can even get Sherry to come tell us about her experience in one of
absolutely.
our episodes because her experience was very different than yours. She was on
Yes.
the course longer. She was walking mostly. She had her birthday while y'all were out there, so there was a celebration for that. And just to
Yeah.
hear her perception, and her perspective on why she does it and how the mechanics go into play. I would love to hear it from a female's point of view if you want, if you don't mind. But anyway, I
I
know
would
we
like
want.
to ask you, Adele, because you just got done with
Yeah.
your certification, high performance coaching by Brendan Burchard. And I'd like to know a little bit of that experience and how you connect that with things that we're talking about running and the leadership and
Right.
everything that comes with training our minds and our motivation.
So, originally, if y'all remember, Victor and I met at a coaching summit hosted by Brendan Bouchard, who's a high performance coach in the personal development arena. And so, our experience of meeting there brought us to our relationship today, which has been, I'm blessed. So what I did this past week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I was on about 6 hours a day, was my third certification level in the certified high performance coaching arena, right? Program. The frameworks that we use are specific to what Brendan Burchard has developed over the course of many, many years, scientifically based, a lot of studies, a lot of work went into it. It's a beautiful program. So I went through the coaching program as a client a few years ago and then went into the coaching training to become a high performance coach, which is when I met Victor and we talked about a lot of things. There are frameworks to help people discover what they want, what they need, how we can bring them to becoming a better version of themselves. If there's a problem, the coaching frameworks I use can help solve those. When I transcend that into the health and wellness and running part of my life and my coaching, a lot of it is the mindset, right? When you take a mindset of someone who wants to do something for themselves, let's take Rosa, who started running. Now she uses a different mindset to push her dad. There's a reason she does that. So the things we work on include anything from clarity, which really helps someone dive into the reasons that they have a vision, or if they're trying to solve a problem, or if they're really trying to discover parts of themselves that they know are deep down inside and they want to get them out. They want to make some transformations. So the clarity issue is huge. It's one of our very first frameworks that we look at, because then as a coach, I can help them make some discoveries to move them forward into some of our other frameworks. Their energy level, for example, which can include energy both physically as well as mentally, and then going into the spiritual and emotional arena of that, and the full circle on how they find the energy to do the things they choose to do and what direction they're heading in. Courage, influence, persuasion, physiology, which also incorporates the total body mind experience. There are certain ways we handle things in our high performance coaching frameworks to allow our clients, be it a single one on one client or in a group, which I've done both, find ways to make their own discoveries and then move forward with some really good insight into decisions they want to make. So that's a very basic, I hope very succinct description of using the high performance frameworks in a life coaching type of coaching experience, but also to transcend it into my forte, as y'all know, is health and wellness and empowering people and using my life story, which also helps encourage and influence. It's not about age, it's not about experience, it's not about anything else. It's what you can take from someone else, take from someone helping you dive into a training program, be it a running program or a life changing program, and helping them discover and make decisions and move in the directions, giving them the tools to move in a direction to make those transformations. It's very rewarding to me. I've got to tell you, some of the people I met, like when you met on the runs, and people I've met through all of my running and my competitive sports uh, experiences through the years, you don't know who's out there that can give you one moment that impacts you forever. Like Rosa, Jim. You said the gentleman's name is Jim.
Right, Jim.
Yeah, you. So as a coach, my whole inspiration and aspiration is to allow someone to experience some of the things I've experienced when I've made life transformations, and it's about finding what the problem is that they may want to solve, helping them solve it, and allowing them that experience of finding it and doing it and taking the action on their own. So, as a coach in our running coaching programs that we offer, they've got to be accountable to us, right? It's the same concept. If I'm going to help you and find direction and find make some discoveries, the action has to be taken on the client's part as well, right? So we're
Right.
giving them tools in the running arena. I'm going to give them some tools in the life arena, right? So
That's
what
right.
I find is it really helps me develop my mindset and find the clarity and find the focus, which is also one of our frameworks, and find the discipline to move forward and have the tools so that when I make those transformations myself, I'm helping a client or a group make those transformations as well. A lot of leadership goes into it. So I know that's a topic that we discussed recently with Tyler that I had to listen to um, on my own. But all that encompasses what I can do as a certified high performance coach in pretty much any arena of life. And I choose certain ones that I work my use my best skills in. So
Yes, and
obviously,
whatever resonates with you the most, of course, you're going to use the most. But what I see, Adele, is this big overlap in
Mhm.
the training that we had from Brennan Burchard, the training that you were just talking about, the clarity, the persuasion, the discipline, with the summit that I just went to with
Right.
Tyler, just
Right.
completed the summit here in Spokane. It's called um,
I got it written down. Life's, yeah. I wrote it
the
down and I forgot. I'm so sorry. I forgot.
no, it's direct leadership. Gosh, I know
Yes, it was the
my
leadership summit, right? It was the
the
leadership
leadership
summit.
summit.
Yes,
Yes,
yes, yes.
and there one of the phrases they were talking about was loving the people you lead. Was one big frame from one of the speakers is
Right.
you have to love the people you're going to lead, or you're not going to be able to lead them. The other one is that Tyler mentioned a couple of times is, and he even mentioned it in our podcast,
Right.
is going together. You can go further. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Right.
And I've used that before. It's because one of my favorite quotes, especially when it comes to running, because you can only get so far on your own. But the more you can uh, practice all of these teachings with other people, because as you're learning them, you're teaching them to somebody else, and you're practicing them, and you're also holding yourself accountable, like practicing what you preach. There are a lot of times where I tend to disalign, and I find myself in a way it's like, okay, I'm not following what I preaching, and I gotta then dig deep and find out why am I not being congruent. And as
Mhm.
soon as I can find that out and stay congruent with what I'm teaching, then it just aligns much better, and I make more progress.
And I think this is a great segue into what we offer in the coaching program. It's y'all, it's not just lacing up the shoes and taking the steps. You have to have what's in your heart. You have to be able to be coachable in a sense of learning what's going to work with your schedule, what's going to work with your family's commitment and support, what's going to work deep down inside on those days. My Victor and Adele, or if you're doing the Ironman program that they did, or anything that we've done and talked about, I just don't want to go today. But when we help you with your mindset, that's the day you'll probably have one of your best training experiences. The day
That's
you don't want to do it the most. I'm tired. I didn't sleep well. The babies were up. My wife is to work. I can't. I got to change the time. Those are some of your best training events, right? So what we help you do, besides and in incorporation with the actual miles that you want to put in, the actual supplemental cross training you want to do to really be successful to achieve your goal, the mindset and the heart and soul goes into it too. And if you think back to some of the people that we've spoken to on our podcast, we had Sam, who started. He's a diabetic, and what he does now is he trains and he runs, but he also gives back to the community that helps support studies and research and work with people suffering and living with the disease of diabetes, because look what he's doing. He's a shining example. We look at Rosa that we just talked about. We look at all these other people that we brought on. It's more than just the running. Yes, you want to learn how to take those steps. You want to learn how to keep your body upright for 2 to 4 to 5 hours. We can help you do that. We can help you train for that. You want to do the tunnel downhills. Definitely got to look at us and say, hey, what did you tell me to do when I'm going down? What were some of those exercises? The biggest thing is why you're doing it, and we can help you keep that going, keep that discovery on both ends of the physical, the mental, emotional, and also the spiritual part. It's called Earn Your Mission, right? Isn't that what it's called?
right. Express your mission is
Express your mission. I'm sorry. Express
it's all
your
right.
mission. I'm
But
getting
yeah,
expressive.
it's because I believe in running is an expression of your body, and therefore you apply it to your mission. And if you can continue to remind yourself of what your mission is, what your vision is, and incorporate some of your values, which is one of the things that we learned in this summit was big on mission, vision, values from another of the speakers, and I try to apply it because oh, it's using my initials. Mr. Victor Vizcaino, NVV, mission, vision, and values. I thought, oh,
I
that's
love
pretty
it.
cool. I won't forget that.
You
But
won't forget that now. I've got to figure one out for me. I'm going to think about it for next time.
yeah, but what I love about having clients who I see often is
Mhm.
that when they're going through things, whether it's personal or whether it's an injury that happened, that it could not even, it could be that it wasn't related to their training. They were
Right.
out doing some other activity and they sprained their ankle or they messed up their back. And okay, that's okay. We come, we discuss it, and we discuss what they can do as their body's recovering. And it it does provide a big relief for them because now they don't have to doubt or they don't have to jump into like, oh, I'm going to try to make it up, because many of us, including myself, have tried to make up miles that we missed, and then we re-injure those injuries because now we're trying to make up time. And there's a method and a way, and I think that a coach can provide
Right.
that peace of mind that, you know what, we're going to take it easy and you're still going to be okay. Your body's even going to appreciate you more. And there's been people who, through like forced recovery because of an injury, they actually perform better at the end because they were forced
Right. They were
to.
forced to recover there. And
Yeah,
their body takes a little bit of a break. The energy goes to the healing and they do a minimal amount to keep their fitness. And then all of a sudden, everything's fresh again, right?
yes,
Y'all don't understand that until you go through it. But when you have a coach that also helps you with your mindset as well as how to work through and recover physically with your injuries, it 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 helps deal with some of the sadness, some of the frustration. Oh, am I ever going to be able to do it? There's a lot of reasons to have someone help you with the mental part of it. And I'll use an example. I had a very, 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 very close friend who got injured, he had to retire from his industry as a firefighter, and had to actually retire because of injuries that he incurred through the course of rescuing people for a couple of decades as a firefighter and a captain and a paramedic. And his biggest thing was he was running in every state, a marathon in every state. He had 23 states under his belt. One of the toughest things when he could not run like that anymore was what was happening to his heart and his soul, and what was happening to his frustration and his mentally. He, not that he became depressed because he had outlets, but we talked through many walks. We talked through many short and easier runs when he was able to do it again, how much he had to deal with when his life changed in that respect. And when you have someone that can help you through that, that has some skill and knows the right direction that you should be going in, rather than lack focus, get frustrated, maybe get depressed, you want that person in your accountability corner as well. Because it's
right.
that one aha moment that comes through and says, wow, oh, wow, now my friend cycles his pants off. I mean, I can't keep up with him. But the beauty of
Yeah,
that is he found another outlet that he can still run and walk. He can still do things he loves to do, but another outlet that doesn't tax his body in the same way. And I've had to learn to keep up with him. He got curtailed a little bit recently because he had some surgery. But I'm like, oh, I'm going to keep up with him. I'm going to get him. And
absolutely.
so that happens too. Y'all do want someone that can help you on all those other ends as well. And it's nice to know that I've got 3 levels now, a lot more focus, a lot more ability, a lot more um, skills on my end because I've taken the time and the energy, just like Victor has, to go to the summit with Tyler. Getting all these things put in place so that we can offer them as a great opportunity to the people that we want to work with and people we want to communicate with. So it's all there now.
Absolutely. Yes. There's so many people that can benefit from
Oh
all your
yeah.
teachings and all your learnings, and experience that transformation that you offer. It is
Right.
so
Right.
amazing. And one of the things that I look forward in our podcast is bringing, because I've talked about our Iron Edge
Right, the
um,
Iron Edge, right.
for that training, and they're making really great progress. And I'm hoping to
Good.
bring them on the podcast, talk about the things that we're working on and
Great.
their wins, some of the things that they've faced as challenges, and how to overcome those. And so it's something to really look forward to in case
Good.
you're thinking of joining us in one of those programs or just starting. For the people who are beginners and have not been running for a long time, the run walk method that I bring and the program that I has makes it so much easy to just to get started and to do it without injury or even the fear of getting injured, because you ease up into it. We have the methodology to keep you safe and keep you running in a safe manner that is going to make you progress and you get to the finish line. One of the things that I learned a lot from doing the series is seeing the people who are consistent and can get so far without having to go through major trainings, just a
Mhm.
consistent, easy pace based on their own capabilities, based on their own fitness levels.
And I think that's the beauty of y'all scheduling a call with us. And I'll tell you, I have a goal, and Victor and I have shared my goal because of some life changes recently, and I am using the run walk method to train and work toward that goal. So today, because it's storming in Louisiana, and I was supposed to be on my bike for about 35 miles, I actually went in and what I call my run, inside run on the elliptical. So I could set some pace, I could set some inclines, I could set a distance of 5 miles, but challenge myself because obviously I wasn't having the impact. Y'all, that is one of the greatest things. And then I have a run walk day planned in the next couple of days as well. So it's the beauty of knowing what your capabilities are. And I think that's
Yeah,
exactly what Victor has offered to us. So I know we're getting ready to sign off so we can move on to some other things. However, Victor's going to put some things in the notes. He's going to put all of our contact information in there. We do
yes,
want to talk a little bit more about the Iron Edge, the progress that the team is making. So I hope we do that in the next couple of weeks. I think that's what we scheduled,
yeah.
right? Okay, good,
Yes, definitely going to
good.
do that. I will also try to put the dates of the downhill marathon so that they
Okay, good.
can, at least the website, so they, if they're interested, they can sign up for those races.
Okay, good,
Mm, And
good.
one quick observation, and I want to say that the misconception about the run walk method is that a lot of people think that is for slow runners. And I don't know if many people know this, but the speed walkers that do it professionally, they run faster than a lot of than most runners uh, that are not professional.
Right,
They can do this in like sub 6 minute miles, the
right.
speed walkers. So when you talk about incorporating run walk method, it's not, I know quite a few people can that do sub 3 hour
Oh yeah,
marathon
oh yeah, oh yeah.
using the walk method, run walk method. So and for a few clients who have never done it before and have incorporated in their workouts, they're actually doing PRs. They're
Right.
actually breaking their own records, yeah, adopting that. So I just wanted
Yeah.
to make that
And we
clear.
and we may delve into that a little bit further as we get further along. And in the summer, y'all got to remember that the humidity and the heat starts coming down here in South Louisiana and the southern parts of the state. So anybody down here that's a very seasoned, accomplished, fast time runner, you will find them. They'll continue their training. I mean, I've run with a bunch of them. I've worked with a bunch of them. I'm friends with a bunch of them. But they start to incorporate at slower pace, a slower jog, a walk recovery, depending on the distance they're doing. They incorporate those methods in their training so that then when they're racing again, their body's not completely exhausted and fatigued from the elements. And that's a big key. And we'll discuss that next time we talk a little bit about the walk run
Adaptation,
method. So
adaptation,
I know we're
absolutely.
getting ready to sign out. Victor, I missed
Yes,
you. I
yeah,
can't
yes,
wait
you
till next
too.
week. Y'all send us a message. Victor's going to put our information, the contact information, both on the running. Anybody interested in looking into some high performance coaching? Shoot me a message like you do just with the running coaching. We'll incorporate a bunch of things together. So it's good to see you again, my friend.
Just to see you. Thank you for being here, and thank the audience for listening. Don't forget to tune in and ask any questions that you might have. We'll answer them as soon as we can.
Yep. Any suggestions? Put in our comments. We'll love to check you up on that. We'll see y'all next week.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Namaste.